Good evening, everybody. This is Going Silver with Igor Gruendl. I welcome you to the first show of this format. And before we get started, if you'd like to participate in the conversation or have any questions for us, please give us a shout on Twitter. Our username is @RoyalAlliance1. We're also monitoring our Google Plus and Facebook chat. Just search for the Royal Alliance and it will pop right up. The recording of this video will be available to you tomorrow on YouTube, as well as posted to all our social media platforms. So keep an eye out on Twitter, Facebook, and Google Plus for those videos. And remember to add us to the Royal Alliance to your Google Plus circles, so you'll know when we do these events in the future. And you can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook. Just search for the Royal Alliance. It's great to see you all tonight. And well, as I mentioned, I am your host, Igor Gruendl. I am a 17-year professional in the network marketing profession. All these years I've been with one company, with Nikken, and I am a Royal Diamond. The Royal Alliance is a group of top leaders all over the world, and we help and mentor people to strive and become better in the business. Today's call is for the benefits for you to understand on how to create a successful business. And we have a panel of brand new silvers that went silver in the last couple of months. I'd like to invite, or I'd like to welcome to the panel tonight. We have Deena Gray-Henry. Good evening, Deena.
Good evening. Thank you.
We have Layton. Hi, Linda.
Hi.
We have Estrellita Gonzalez. Hi, Estrella.
Hi.
Hi. And we have David Martin.
Hi, everyone.
Hi there, David. Excellent. Well, you know, a lot of people have signed up, and they're probably using also products already, and they had their products experience, and now they're ready to explore the business some more. Or maybe they have made a decision to create actually a business on their side. Many of you watching today have already made that decision, and of course, you know, we want to help people watching us today make a decision on going silver. Now, getting to the top to become a Royal Diamond is nothing else than going silver and help a lot of other people go silver. Now, the first thing I'd like to do is I'd like the panel to introduce themselves. If you could kind of, you know, share where you're from, what your background is, and how long it took you to go to silver.
Hi, Estrellita. I live in Vancouver, BC, Canada. I joined July 1st and work with some wonderful, amazing people. Maggie McKee is a huge part of my reason of actually becoming a silver, and Ona McDonald as well. That happened at the end of July 31st, and yeah, I mean, I just love this company. I think I'm into health and wellness. My background, actually, I come from the corporate world of marketing and human resources. And the last couple of years, I've been involved with the aesthetics world. And I have a skincare clinic here in Vancouver. And it was just a logical extension that I look at a company like this, which resonates for me just in the whole sort of wellness space of making a difference in people's lives, as I do with my clinic, I believe, with when it comes to our skin. But I also believe, you know, with Nikken and the products that they represent of helping people. I have an audience in my clinic that I can make a difference with as well with Nikken.
Excellent.
Hi, well, I'm from California. I'm in the southern part of California by the ocean, and mom of 4, and my background is a physical therapist. I have been a physical therapist for 27 years, and most recently my clientele has been chronic pain patients. So I was really looking at what the things that, you know, medicine has to offer my patients, and it's horrific, to be honest with you. And I came across Nikken through a friend who lives in Toronto, so I always say God answers prayers, and I was just really looking for something, and it was about a year ago at the last convention that I came as a guest, and I took a lot of time to vet the company. And then in July of this year, I decided that I really wanted to make this a passion of mine and work the business, and I became silver last month.
My name is Deena Gray-Henry, and I'm kind of the old lady of the group in more ways than one. I've been in Nikken just about a year, a little over a year, but I was just very impressed that we've been trying to figure out some health issues with my husband, and I'm like Linda, it was an answer to prayer. But it wasn't until June 28th that I decided I really wanted to do Nikken as a business, and the rest is history. I became silver July 1st, and I'm now sharing Nikken with everyone that I can, and I love it.
My name is David Martin. I'm from the San Francisco, California Bay Area. I'm a father, friend, an option trader, and I used to be an executive in the software industry. I joined Nikken on June 1st and went silver 2 months later on July 31st.
Woohoo!
Awesome. So what we know is that the first thing it takes to go silver is make a decision that you want to do it. And all of you made that decision at some point in time when you were in Nikken. What can you share the audience about the cause that made you make a decision to become a silver?
For me, this is Linda. It was a really poignant time. I had gone up to spend some time with Bernadette McBurney. And if you spend any time with Bernadette, you kind of get a sense of the big picture, as it were. She's really great at that. And there was something that just clicked with me, which was the name on the check is mine. It wasn't Nikken's, it wasn't anyone else's name but mine. And when I realized that, and that I get to choose what the numbers were, it was like, oh, I want that check, you know. So it was just this really moment where I just saw that vision and just kind of went all out, to be honest with you.
Okay, hi, it's Estrellita. You know, I guess I spent the first little while sort of getting to know the company and its products, but I think it was really the momentum came from the people around me, and just to see what was possible, and hearing their stories, and their encouragement, and just, you know, their belief in, I guess, in me in some ways as well, which helped me to sort of see what was possible for myself. And I mean, you're right. I think the journey starts with sort of figuring out what it is that you want. And I always say to people, I ask them that question, and the sad part is most people don't know what the heck they want. And I think if you can start by having that as a bit of a vision for your life, you know, one of the things that really appealed to me with Nikken is this idea of having a residual income. I came to that point a few years ago of not wanting my time to be my commodity, which is what we're programmed to believe in regular society. And I think this type of business model with direct sales that we're in as a general statement, it really is a wonderful way for us to sort of look at the sort of idea of having residual income coming from different sources. But it was also really important for me to have it aligned with something that I was very passionate about. And I had gone through an exercise of figuring out what my sort of values were, and it started with a journey probably 8 years ago now of health, really making some big changes in my health situation with what I was eating and what I was doing for exercise and those sorts of things. And so that became my path about 8 years ago. And then everything sort of moving forward from that started to evolve, and that I wanted to have alignment and congruency with what I was doing for work, you know, to make money, as well as this value system that I have. And so you know, Nikken fell into that by accident when I met Maggie, and really the quest started because I wanted a new air filter. That's how it started. And I hadn't heard of Nikken. I'd heard maybe the name, but I had no idea what the company stood for. And so it was just that first product. And then I used my mom actually. I got a knee wrap for her, and I got her some insoles because she had knee pain for months and wasn't dancing. My mom is 81 years old and dances every Friday, and she couldn't go dancing for months. And so I got her this knee wrap, and within a week she was back dancing. And that was a huge thing for me. And my mom's a very black and white person, and she's, you know, doesn't beat around the bush, but it worked for her. And then I got her some insoles because she was having problems with her balance. And again, the same thing. She had, you know, great she was going out walking and felt great. So it just kind of, wow, this stuff really works. Not only are there great people involved, but the great products, and it's going to answer that sort of desire that I had for residual income.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Deena?
My journey with Nikken going silver started with Nathan Tuller doing a perfect storm call, and I was just kind of sharing with my friends the bone health pack. That's what spoke to me. I was actually on Boniva for 7 years. I barely had a voice because of the acid reflux, the silent acid reflux. So I was on the perfect storm call. I decided that I needed to bring more people to meetings, and just before this particular meeting I'm going to tell you about, I just had checked my Nikken account because we have our check automatically deposited. I really had a hard time that they were taking so much money out of checks, so it would just go into auto deposit. And I had checked our account to see how much money Nikken had been depositing, and I was absolutely shocked when I added it all up for the 7 months. We were averaging $200 a month extra income, and I thought, wow, it's $200 a month, and all I'm doing is sharing with friends. So that was in the back of my mind. I go to a meeting, and I actually had quite a few friends show up to this meeting. And I stood up after Nathan talked about the business, being one of those people who was a little uncomfortable with network marketing. I stood up to just kind of help my friends be at ease, and I said, I just have to tell you that all I'm doing is sharing the products with my friends like you, and I've been making $200 a month. I'm shocked. And then I'm an energy healer, and I said, whoa, wait a minute. For everybody here, did you just hear what I said? I'm an energy healer, and I just said, I'm not doing this as a business, but I'm making $200 a month extra, just sharing with my friends. I'm making a commitment to everyone at this meeting that I will go silver immediately. And that was June 28th. My awesome downline, Nathan Tuller and Jen Dixon, heard me and said, finally! They kicked into gear the next day. One of my people in my downline ordered a wellness home. Jen called me. So June 28th is when I made that statement. June 29th, someone underneath me ordered a wellness home. June 30th, Jen Dixon called me at about 11 o'clock at night, and she said, Deena, do you realize that if you place a $122 order, you'll be bronze? And I said, is that good? And she says, yeah, that's really good. That's right below silver. And I went, okay, I'll do that. So I placed the $122 order. July 1st, so 4 days later, Nikken had a huge conference call. They wanted everyone on, and they announced that they were changing their compensation plan. Mm-hmm. So June 21st, I said I'd be going silver immediately. July 1st, I was a silver. And that's...
so you say it took you 2 days.
Basically.
Wow.
Thanks to my amazing downline. But the bottom line for me was literally being committed. And right. I believe in energy work. I knew that Nikken was my vehicle. Real quick, I'll just back up to kind of confirm what Australia was saying, is that with my energy business, I've been doing very well. But in October of 2011, I had taken a vacation. And amazingly, no income came in while I took a 3-week vacation. And I thought, whoa, I'm going to have to rethink this whole, like how I'm doing my business and what I'm doing. The next month is when Nikken entered my life, and I kind of dinked around just sharing the product with friends, not doing it as a business. And then, like I said, in July or June 28th, I finally decided to do it as a business, and it's been amazing ever since. So that's my story. I love this product, and I think for you to go silver, you've heard the same thing repeated. It's a commitment, it's loving the product, and just releasing the fear and moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Deena. David.
Hi. I had a slow burn at first and then a fast ignition. I had the opportunity to meet Mac McDonald. I was joining a friend at a Super Saturday. I wasn't really that interested. I was accompanying a friend, and then I decided to sit down with Mac to learn about the tax benefits of the business, and that caught my attention. And during the course of what I thought was going to be a 20-minute discussion that turned into 2 hours, I said, all right, I'll do the business enough to pay for my own nutritionals. So I proceeded along in that route, and then there was a super Saturday followed by a wonderful training by Bernadette McBurney 10 days before the end of July. And I had made bronze. I hadn't decided on silver, and in that meeting, due to Bernadette's inspiration and the others in the room, I decided I was going to be silver 10 days later on July 31st, and stood up and announced it to the room with not a single senior to my name. And
Wow.
I was also leaving this lovely state of California from my home state of Wisconsin 3 days later. So when I left 3 days later, I still had not a single senior to my name. July 31st, I went silver with 3 seniors.
Woohoo!
Excellent.
So the progression from there was I then returned to the Midwest on September 22nd and 23rd to do Humans Being More with my sister, who became one of those seniors in Chicago. And at that event, which I encourage everyone to do Humans Being More, it's life-changing. At that event, decided I was going to be Royal Diamond on or before December 31st, 2013. And then went to gold training at the leadership conference and decided I am Royal Ambassador on or before December 31st, 2015. So that's the journey. I'm on. Silver is an excellent early stop along the way.
Excellent. Thank you very much for sharing that. Now, I want to back off a little bit and go back to some of the things you were mentioning. We heard, big storm calls and super Saturdays and different ranks, senior, silver, royal diamond. For those people that are not familiar with Nikken, of course we invite you to contact the person who who invited you to watch this show tonight, or the recording if you're watching it on YouTube later, so you can get fully informed about what Nikken is all about. Of course, today we would like to talk about how to make a decision to go silver. So what we've heard from everybody consistently is that once a decision was made, whether you were motivated by Humans Being More training, which David talked about, or if you where you kind of where you could see the potential that is within you, or if it's the effort to move with the team forward that causes to create something bigger than what you can create on your own. Once the decision was made to go silver, we have heard that people made the decision within 1 to, well, actually 2 days up to 3 months. So that's an important insight, that make people realize it begins with a decision. And well, some of you have been, of course, in business for some time now. Now, how long were most of you, and this is a short answer, how long were most of you involved with Nikken before you made a decision to go silver? Linda?
Month and a half.
Oh, month and a half, okay.
Yeah, 6 months.
6 months, okay. Estrellita?
I think it was a week. It was a week.
A week, excellent. And Deena?
Well, I was in Nikken 5 months, but literally it was one day that I decided and then did it. So.
Let me ask you this: what was the greatest insight for you? I mean, of this experience, and of course, I understand that you mentioned some of that you saw the bigger vision. There were people around you. You were impressed by them. But what was kind of the biggest insight, the greatest insight that you had from this experience?
Well, for me, the biggest insight really was remembering, when you were in high school, you never thought about how you're going to graduate. You just did it. It was just a known entity. You didn't have fear. You just kind of went with the program because that was what you expected of yourself. And so I had to look at that and say that was the biggest aha, was that the moment I expect something of myself and I say, this is what I want to do, and my heart connects with my head, then it's already done. Things shift, people show up, things happen that support exactly what you have in your heart, mind, and soul decided to do. And everyone can tap into that because it's a human experience. And you can look in your life and see where that happened. So you just have to create that energy again around yourself, and then you are able to make any choice into a reality.
I would echo what Linda said. It's the decision, it's the belief, and so I made a belief when people would say, "Hey, that's pretty hard to do, maybe impossible in 10 days, starting from no seniors," and it happened, and that just reinforced the belief, and I reawoke to The Secret. If folks out there have read or watched or listened to The Secret and the law of attraction, as Linda just said, when I made the decision, things just started showing up to support my decision. People and orders and my own why, which is my own purpose, which is giving life meaning to millions of people around the world, and that alone gave me a lot of fuel to the fire.
I would reiterate that the belief system around. I actually had a bit of an interesting experience around that in San Diego at the conference when we did the Humans Being More training. There was such an energy from that day, those 2 days, that it really was such a great exercise to go through to sort of visualize your life and what it is that you wanted. That I had all of this amazing good news sort of right after that event sort of come my way that was related to business, and I was convinced that it was because of the mindset that I had around where I was and what I wanted. And I think that's like we talked about, making that decision with wanting to be a silver or wanting to be a diamond. I think if you say it out loud and you write it down and you're looking at it and you believe it, that it's just the law of attraction. It's going to happen. So it's just making it a decision that there's just no going back, and just believing that in yourself. It's the mind game.
Excellent. Deena?
Well, and mine was, I'm Christian faith, so a lot of prayer, and also it went from beyond belief in myself to knowledge in myself. Faith grew to knowledge that I knew I could do it, that I had made up my mind, and that it was immediate. And I'm just going to real quick give a plug for Humans Being More here. I was really blessed to meet my other two ladies on the panel at Humans Being More, and it was an amazing experience. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that happened to me is my husband agreed to come with me. And it's been a little bit of a challenge with me. I've had a husband that would rather have me be home and spending time with him versus on the phone or going to meetings. And he joined me at Humans Being More, and it was probably one of the most transformational events that we've ever had in our marriage. My husband came away from Humans Being More and then the convention saying he has his MBA, and he went to the convention after Humans Being More and just said, I can help you. This is what I learned with my MBA. And so I have a husband that is now, via Humans Being More and the convention, supporting my business instead of trying to pull me back and saying, you need to be at home or you need to be more with the family. He's now supporting me. So that's been a real amazing miracle that happened through Humans Being More and the convention.
That is excellent. Now, if I want to just mention one more time, if you like to participate in the conversation, have any questions, please, give us a shout at Twitter. Our username is @RoyalAlliance1. We're also monitoring Google Plus and Facebook chat, so just enter any of the questions that you have for our panel, and then we'll see that we can get to that. Okay. So what we heard clearly, is that there's a bigger vision, and you get to the point where just you know that it was going to get done at this point. Now, when we talk about how we get things done, we often talk about what is called all-out massive action. And if you're new to Nikken, and if you often hear that focused all-out massive action. What does that term mean for your work ethic, and what have you, for example, been doing every single day until you got it done?
Dave Johnson, who's in our upline, he's absolutely amazing, shared a CD with me, and it was by Brian Tracy. It talked about self-discipline, and that CD has literally changed my life. One of the quotes from Brian Tracy, is basically, self-discipline is doing what needs to be done even though you don't want to do it.
Right.
And that has always been a block for me. I will get inspiration. I'll feel like, oh, I need to talk to this person, or, oh, I should call this person. And then I talk myself out of it. Oh, I don't want to bother them. Or, they haven't called me. They'll call me. And I've taken that to heart. And that is one of the huge factors for me, is just do what needs to be done even though I don't want to do it, has made a huge difference.
I've had the blessing, I guess, of always being in action. So the learning that I got to do was always being in action. I'd actually slow myself down during the day because I was sharing Nikken with everyone. I wasn't necessarily doing it in the most efficient way. And so, I learned to learn from others that have been doing it, and so I take every opportunity to go learn from the people that have done this for a while, that are being very successful, and take the actions I am doing every day and just make them more effective. And where I'm at now is my mouth is shut more and my ears are open more, and I'm listening to the dreams of the people I meet around the 5 pillars of health. And after I've begun to understand them, then I share with them that I like to help them manifest them and give them a few ideas how that might happen.
Yeah, I would concur with that in terms of the listening part. It is to listen to the person that's in front of you, to find out sort of where they're at, and also just keeping it simple. I mean, in listening, you learn a lot about a person. But you also don't need to complicate this. I think we don't need to know every little bit of how the air filter works, and what's all the bits and pieces of the water systems and that sort of thing. I think that really confuses people. So it's listening to what they might be, where the opportunity is, and also living it. I believe we're ambassadors to these products, and by having them in our homes and people see them, and having them in my business, people see, and they're just naturally curious about a lot of these things as it is. And keeping it simple just sort of keeps that conversation simple as well.
There's a saying that I got from April Lee James in Toronto, and she's my sponsor. And the thing that she told me was, either you will figure out a way why, or you'll give an excuse. So it's either you do it or you figure out an excuse that you can't do it. And so I look at that on my computer every day. And that was one of those things that changed. It's like every day, what can I do to move forward with the goal? And it's still today. Every day I'm really looking at what am I doing today, and getting rid of the excuses. I have 4 children. I have tons of opportunity and diversions and just life. And we all do. But you got to just really look at it and say, what have I done today? And that's one of the things that I changed, making it happen every day.
Excellent. Well, I've got a question here, and it comes from Maggie McGee. She asks on Google+, would you do anything different now that you are at the silver level?
I'd say absolutely. It shifts from being one of sort of doing it yourself to helping others do it, and it's a mindset shift that you are now developing leaders and helping them pursue their own dreams, and the people that they're finding pursue their dreams, and just replicate.
I also see the question as, would you do anything different on going silver also? What would you tell people that want to go silver?
Me personally, what I've said to my people is, don't wait like I did. Try the products, know that you love the products, and then go for it immediately. Because I was a classic example that we bought the wellness home right away. My husband saw the positive of the products immediately, and while we had that momentum, I wish that I had been committed. I wish I hadn't been worried about network marketing, how my friends would perceive it, and just literally go all out from the very beginning. That I would be Royal Diamond by now.
That's a great insight. Yes. I
was going to say, it's a good question. I don't know if I could do or what I would do differently. I think you can't necessarily, have those kind of regrets to think. But I think the point is that yes, becoming silver it is a different role. It is one more of a leadership role. So the changing probably needs to think to change in order to actually with your role and how it's evolving. It becomes about the people in the organization that you're working with and that you're looking to develop. And I think that there has to be that interest, I suppose, also, as looking at yourself as somebody to engage with people and to motivate people. And not everyone's necessarily cut out for that or is interested in that. But I would imagine if somebody really wants to go that route of being, a Royal Diamond like yourself, that is really, that needs to be there as a strong interest in wanting to help develop others, and give them the support and the motivation to do so. I think that's a big part of silver and above.
I think one thing that I would do differently besides doing it faster, was the thing is that I would do differently is not look at it as that I had to do it all myself. And I think that's a big misconception, is that I've got to get to this level. I. Well, this company is really about we. And if you can understand that, if I could have understand that earlier, then the road would have been quicker. So echoing the sentiments of everybody else and saying that really it's the thing I would do differently, which I'm going to do from this point forward as a silver, is and be inclusive. Like you said, it's about other people. And somehow there's a disconnect when you start out that you think it's not about everyone. You think it's about me doing it. And we got, I would just be better at sharing that vision with people.
I would add to that, I didn't really understand the concept of taprooting until I went to, leadership conference. And I think when I started focusing on silver, it's like, oh, I got to get 3. But I think if I had instead focused on, I got to get 3 who get 3, it would have been like, trying to break a board with your hand. I would have been focused on the point behind it and going through the board, which is silver, would have been much easier.
Good point, yeah.
Yeah, those are some great insights. And I think, often that is what we talk about, that we have to get people 100% informed. Excuse me. And along the way, I think, when we introduce this to people, it's a kind of a process that they go through. And it's how to help them understand the process by looking at things that are important, parts of the business, parts of the products, but also parts of the product, the process, and also the humans being more aspect. Now, I have a question that maybe, kind of a basic question. How many people per day needed to be contacted to get, silver done? Do you have somewhat of a number in your mind that you said, well, this is how many people you've actually contacted in that time period until you got to that point? What is kind of your experience on that?
Nathan Tueller, in our Perfect Storm call, he has a formula. He says, if we will take 30 people through the process, we will become silver. Many times it's much sooner. So for me, I had only taken, I counted, now I can't remember, I took 10 people through the process and I became silver. And so for me, what my goal is, I do have, we just had a kind of an assignment added to our schedule where I'm 4 days a week, I'm spending 4 hours a day doing something else. But my goal is to have one person through the process 6 days a week. At least start it, not through the process, but start the process or continue the process 6 days a week. So I'll let you know on our next call when I'm at another rank and you want to do another rank. I'll let you know how quickly that worked.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. I think, it was different days, and because I have a full-time, job during the day. So it wasn't like, so I had my evenings and I had the weekends where I really kind of went gung-ho, but I would have to say that one person, sharing it with a person a day during the time, that I did, and what I mean sharing with it, telling them what I'm doing, giving them an example of it, connecting them with somebody who is more experienced than I am. So that's what I mean by, really talking to somebody and letting them have an opportunity to make a choice.
Just to add, I had created a list of at least 100 names at the start of this process. And my goal really was, my first goal was to really to sort of get a better understanding of the products, and at the same time as I was learning and using them to share that story with people that were on my list, and sort of giving myself until the end of the year to try and get through those 100 names, whether it was over a coffee or a conversation or on the telephone, just to let them know that that this is what I'm doing as an add-on to the business that I have, and it's an easy thing. I find this an easy company to talk about because everybody uses water, everybody wants to have cleaner air, and just sort of finding that one product that might tweak somebody's interest enough that, especially if they're on your list or these are people that you know who know you, it's an easier conversation to have. And so that's sort of my game plan. I haven't reached that 100 point by any means yet. It's the end of the year is almost here, but that's okay. I know that I have that going into for the new year to carry on building onto that list. So it's a process.
And I think the baseline of talk to one person a day is fantastic because it keeps you in motion, it keeps your own belief up, it keeps you learning. In my case, I think what got me going was again some wonderful insight from Bernadette that happens in the meeting and is even part of the vital slides, which is I now knew something that I couldn't keep a secret. I would feel badly if I kept Nikken a secret. And so I talked to way more than one person a day. I wasn't very good at those early conversations. But I think just the baseline of one a day is a real key because it just keeps you, alive and moving moving towards your dream, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, and one thing also why I chose one person a day was because I didn't want to be overwhelmed, and I can't be overwhelmed at this point because of the different things. And you guys, some of you have much more than I have going on, but I find that I usually talk to more than one person a day about it. I can't be quiet about it, and everybody I run into, I say something about it usually. But if we say one person a day at the minimum, mm-hmm. then and of course I'll talk to more, makes it really powerful.
Yeah.
Great. Question? So I hear that what you did is you did one-on-ones with people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Did some of you hand out CDs or DVDs?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You did? Okay. And you used in-home presentations?
Yep.
Okay,
I actually, my chiropractor allowed me to do presentations at his office, and so that was, my upline moved. I had no one here in St. George. I had one other consultant that was above me who was going to help me with the presentations, and she came to one, and then from then on her life got crazy and she couldn't. So again, I put that self-discipline principle to work, and I said, I really am uncomfortable doing this by myself. I may really mess it up, but I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. So I actually started doing presentations at my chiropractor's office, and that was huge for me to step out of that fear and just move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Nice location. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we're now in a wonderful time where we can use online content and online presentations. We can do Skype and Google Plus, Hangout
mm-hmm.
now. So these things are really awesome to get connected, and especially I think makes it very lucrative for a home-based business. Like you, Linda, you also said you have 4 children at home, plus a busy schedule, and you were able to combine that all and still go forward and create something exciting on the side.
Yeah.
Now, let me just go a little step further. If you would give kind of a rule of thumb, what is kind of a minimum standard of what I need to do on a daily method of operation? What would I have to get done to get silver? Like, for example, in 1 month, what would I have to adhere to? Maybe how did you stay in contact with your upline? How did they help? What kind of support team do you have around yourself? Because a lot of you, like David, you said, for example, well, at first you thought, well, I have to get it done by myself, and then it switched where it was like, well, this is not an effort where I do it by myself. So what is kind of a minimum standard that you could give people that they should adhere to?
So for me, there's three core skills. The first is your stories.
Yeah.
So you need to have some products. You need to have some of your own testimonials. You need to share them. The second is an invitation. You invite them to learn more, and then you take them to some sort of ABC event, whether it be a DVD, whether it be a one-on-one, whether it be a weekly in-home or a Super Saturday. And so, what I ended up developing was just sort of, how many times a day am I going to say testimonials? How many times a day am I going to make invitations? And how many times a day am I going to do some sort of ABC, whether it be with a document, a DVD, a live call, or an in-person meeting?
I would just, for myself, like for me, it was all about the people that were my upline and to support the training that they gave me, the genuine caring and interest in wanting to see me achieve this. So I think knowing that they're there and that they're there more than happy to help. I think for a lot of people, if they've never been in business for themselves, it's a very intimidating process to think, oh my God, I'm self-employed or I'm doing this on my own. What do I do? And it can actually stop a lot of people from really being successful in this kind of an arena. Mm-hmm. And I think knowing that their upline is there as a resource and tapping into that and just having that conversation of what's to be expected and what kind of communication on a daily, weekly basis, especially if the upline has an idea of what you're trying to achieve, then there's that communication. Well, what can they do to sort of help you through that process? Some people may need that daily contact. Maybe another person might need it once a week. So that support, I think, was critical. Certainly, I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for Maggie and for Ona. And that's just how they operate. And I think for anyone, you want to know that you're going to have an upline that, if that's important for you, that's there, and finding that support and having that conversation with somebody.
And another practice that I put into was just learning. Like being a student was one part of it. Like I'm an extrovert. I can talk to everybody. I actually talk to people I don't know easy. Like I'm that kind of person. So making calls and all that stuff was easy to do. But when it came to the details and really learning about Nikken, or when people ask, like, I had an in-home yesterday, and a woman asked me a question like, what's the difference between these magnets and some other magnets? I went to the 99-cent store and I got a magnet. I feel better. Why would I spend $30, And, at that time, of course, I had my sponsor on the phone, and she answered the question, but I was like, hey, I want to know that, And so just being more comfortable with it was one of the things that I had to put on my to-do list every day. Spend time studying, and 30 minutes. Let me look at a microsite or read something so that I could feel more comfortable with what I'm doing too.
I'm similar to Linda, where I'm an extrovert, and I actually talk to people in the grocery store. I had a gentleman while I was on my most recent trip, a Nikken trip. He could barely walk, and I actually followed him out to his car and said, I know you don't know me, but I have to tell you that I've got something that could help you. His legs were almost black and he could barely move. And I said, I don't know if you've ever heard of magnetic therapy. I don't know if you've heard of magnets, but I represent a company, Nikken, and I know that it can help you. So I'm like Linda, but just like Linda, I was jumping in without a lot of the knowledge, and then I would get insecure, not like Linda, but I would get insecure. I didn't know how to answer questions. But one of the things that really shifted for me, and it's been a very powerful shift, is instead of focusing on the one product, the Bone Health Pack, which was literally amazing for me, I needed to change to the big picture. Nikken is not one product. Nikken's whole philosophy is wellness environment, and there's an amazing article on epigenetics that's now kind of going around Nikken, talking about how we can truly change our disposition, our genetic disposition, by creating a wellness environment. And that was something that I wasn't quite comfortable shifting into because I didn't know enough about the other products, but it's been really powerful for me now, shifting into that.
Now, of course, you touched on that briefly, Deena. The question is, of course, did you ever have doubt while you were going silver? And how many of you experienced that? And how do you get out of a doubt situation?
It took me a while because I was doubtful. I wasn't like the others on the call. I didn't have I don't know what you'd call it, like a high-powered career. So I'm the one on this call that I think if I can do it, anyone can do it. And part of the doubt comes because we're in fear and we're not moving forward. And so when that CD from Dave came into my life and said, actually I had already become silver when I got the CD, but it's moving forward in Nikken. The silver seemed to just fall into place, but it was after that moving forward. And even though you don't want to do something, do it. So that doubt can be erased by us putting positive things into place, positive energies, moving forward, positive thoughts. For me, that's what it does.
Well, let's ask the executives, as you so say,
Yes.
that maybe they didn't have that. How about you executives? Did you have doubts?
Yeah. Well, we're still human beings first. Everyone has that, conversation. I call it your monkey mind comes to start talking to you. And I had one of the persons that wanted to go senior or go to a level that would allow me to go silver was having a problem with one of the products. And it was like, 24 hours almost. We're at the 24-hour point, and I was starting to get a little nervous. And so, the thing is that I have a great relationship with my team members, and I called one of my team members, and I literally said, could you talk me off the roof? Okay? I need help. Throw a lifeline, And the thing that, like you said, Deena, it's a blessing because God always gives you what you need, So I needed to have someone say, well, Linda, the products work. We're going to fix it. Because I never had someone say that they had a complaint, And so, but the customer service was so great that within the next day, he was so satisfied. He did all the things he wanted to do anyway. So, really, it's having that the group and the support and being authentic, being real. I'm not Superwoman, but there's times when I'm exhausted and it's going to happen. But when you have your team members around you and they rally you to that finish line, I've been at the marathon in New York City. They're not smiling at the end. They're like,
Oh.
And then they're done, but you that's how it feels. But it's such a beautiful thing because you're able to overcome it. And that's the point. And you get it with the love and support of your team.
And it's a journey. At the end of the day, this is a journey, what we're on. And it's not going to be, the gold paved road where everything's nice and happy and easy every day. It's only through pain and that we get growth. And so
Right.
we have to experience some of that discomfort. And we are all human, and we're going to have good days and we're going to have bad days. I think that's just a reality check. But if you have your eye on the destination, and you can sort of keep your eye on the goal, and you've got, like I said, that you mentioned too, Linda, with the support around you, it's doable. As I always say, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It's every day is an adventure when you are carving the path for yourself, and you learn so much about yourself. And there's stuff we're good at, and there's stuff we ain't good at. And that's okay too. And that's the beauty of teamwork, with having your team around you, that you can rely on certain people that have things that they excel at. If you get to that point where you've got a good team, you work together and you work off the energy off of each other and try and fill in the gaps where you can't do it for yourself. That's the key.
David, I have before you answer, I've got actually a Twitter from Graham Scarton. He is asking, did your seniors join you for their reasons or for your reasons? What was their motivation? And was there any fear to overcome?
That's a great question. They joined for their motivation. My first senior lives here, but is building a second home in Guatemala. Wanted to be able to expense his trips to Guatemala by doing, or get tax benefits on his trips to, Guatemala, and make money to, finish his second home there. My second person that came on board was my sister. And she had the same motivation I did for reaching out with her, which is my nephew, who is 12, who has suffered just a litany of health problems since he was born. But then her motivation became to share with the world what had worked for her son. And the third was my relief chiropractor, who had some financial failures in real estate and the like, and is back at work in 3 practices for another 10 years when he had hoped to be retired by now. And so he saw a way to my intro to him was, how do you like to keep helping the same patients but without having to adjust them? And that caught his attention and led to the wealth questions. So it was their motivation. Was there fear to overcome? Not with them, with me. And that was the previous question. I decided I was leaving the state 7 days before I had decided to become silver with no seniors in hand. And the puzzle pieces weren't clear to me. The finished puzzle was of being a silver, but the puzzle pieces weren't clear. And what I did believe is there's an infinite number of ways to cross the room, at the other end of the room being silver. And so I just left myself open to the possibilities. And my upline, the Jacksons, gave me a good tip along the way, which is, if you have a customer sign up, their order could go underneath one of your seniors. And in all honesty, that's part of how my 3rd senior got done. I had a retail customer buy a sleep system and some other stuff, and I she ended up not deciding to come on as a consultant. I wasn't sure if she was going to or not. So I put her order underneath, someone else to tip them over the edge.
Excellent, great. I have another question for the panel. It comes from Forrest Beyer through Google+. And he asked, are any of you beyond your warm market? And what are your favorite means putting your business outside of the warm market?
I've got 18 people in my organization, and I was in daily interaction with only 3 of them prior to starting Nikken. So I'm well outside my warm market. I didn't know the other 15.
Okay.
And I'm the same. I have 12 people in my organization, and I have most of them are my people I just met. I just kind of met one person I just met in one day, and literally, God just kind of showed me that this is a person that I want to encouraged to be in this business. And so she did, and I flew out to Atlanta to meet with her and spend time with her, and I live in California, so lots of airplane stories to tell. But,
Wonderful.
Just quickly, I would say that the conversations that I've been having recently with people are all sort of new people that I'm meeting through my clinic. I meet a lot of people at networking events. And I think that's been kind of a nice element to this business is, again, because it's such a great company and easy to talk to, and who isn't interested in having a healthier lifestyle, I find it an easy conversation to have with people outside of the people that I may have already known going into this.
Great. So that brings me to the question, so why go silver now? Why make the decision to go right now? Why was it worth it going silver for you? And then I'll just add one more question that comes from Bo Tanis, also through Google+. Who's next? Who's going silver next in your business? In other words, who are you going to pull up to your own level?
So I'd say, why do it is when you find your dream, make this the first step towards pursuing your dream. In my case, Paris Milan is going silver on or before December 15th. My sister Stacy Ludi is going silver on or before Christmas, which is the day she arrives in California. We give each other a big hug and celebration.
Excellent.
Yeah. And I think to answer the question, why now, it was just that I said that 2012 is going to set the stage for 2013. And 2013, I'm running the race towards, Royal Diamond. So it's like I needed to look at this and be pay attention to who I'm being in this process, so I can tweak it, work at it, and it just was now. I don't know how else to put it. Everything kind of aligned for me to do now, and I have a couple of people that are looking to follow me, and I think that's that energy. And one is Pam Fear. So, Pam, when you see this, we'll see you at the Silver Top. And Zonia Smith and Sue Rodriguez. So I'll be working with you guys, and I'm excited about that. Yeah.
My question is, why not now? I didn't understand, again, about the network marketing, and now that I understand it, silver and Nikken should be a minimum for everyone, yeah, especially because I do the same as Dave. I stack people under other people, and you want to be silver in my organization so that you're benefiting from the people, and I mean not benefited from, but that you're able to receive thank you checks from the people underneath you. And then also, one of the things with when you said why now, you grow. There's a part of you that has to stretch when you become silver. And so why not allow yourself to at least stretch to that, hopefully more, and go from there. And I'm just going to name a few in my organization that I want to be silver. With me, I'm going to keep moving, but they're going to be silver. I just had Deena Champagne in California, Mona Heather, Lori Noble, and Jolene Victor. We're all going, girls.
All right, great.
That's awesome. I think silver is, if you're looking at this as a means to sort of manage and work with people and develop a team, it's the starting point. So I think that's got to be where you start the bar and you work your way from there. So that's you know, it's been a really great experience for me. With to see the loveliness of the true authentic selves that I see with these people that I've been able to work with, and that's what resonates for me. And I think those are the kind of people that I want to work with, and you have that choice in creating those kind of environments when you're working in this kind of a business. And that's a really feel-good story for me that I can share with other people. I find that's what so many people are looking for, is to feel a connection, you know, to feel some authenticity with real people who are really trying to really make a difference. This is one of the first companies that I have an HR background, so I have a vibe for this sort of a thing, but this is an organization that truly wants to make a difference in this world. And I think we are at an age and a time where that means something to people, and it's just a wonderful time to join the organization.
Here, here. I know before I meet them, I'm going to love 95% of the Nikken people I'm going to meet.
Excellent.
Totally agree.
Well, you know, you guys have been awesome tonight, you know, in sharing your experience, and I know it's going to be helpful for a lot of people that are going to be watching this. Now, we can see how it can change your life, how it can benefit your health, how it can benefit you seeing a better future for yourself and for other people, building a team with people that are like-minded, that you want to work with, when you want to work with them, and wherever you want to work with them. The people your market is a global market. You can be anywhere. So for you new silvers, this is just the beginning of your business and a new life. And as a Royal Diamond, I can tell you, once you get to Royal Diamond position, it is truly, really, you truly, really understand what it is to say that that we're just getting started.
Wow.
This is an awesome journey, and it's fun. It changes lives, and we make a difference, and we become financially free while we are doing it, and that is so awesome. Now, if you just have one closing remark, you know, that you want to share with the audience, and then we'll go ahead and say good night to everybody. So I'd like to have every one of you just say, you know, one more thing that you would like to leave everybody with, so they can be inspired by what you have done and what you're going to create. Linda, I know you're ready.
I'm ready. So many things to say, but, you know, just the one thing I want to just say is, you know, listen to that quiet voice, and you will find the answer. It's a quiet voice in yourself that says you want to be bigger than what, you know, you are right now. And humans being more is all of that. And everybody has that access, and I would challenge everybody to to find it and go for it.
I think it's great. Think about your dreams when you were a kid, you know, and this is now here we are as adults, and sometimes we forget about what these things, this thing that we had when we were a child, what we wanted for our lives. And I think as you get older, it becomes clearer again, hopefully, that we have something that we're meant to be and something that we're meant to be doing. And this gives you, this company, I think, can give you that ability to learn a lot about yourself, to meet some really great people, and hopefully create a situation where freedom, because that's really at the end of the day what it is for me too, is having that freedom to be able to do what you want, when you want, and know that you're making some money along the way and meeting some great people.
And I feel like this whole night I've kind of talked about myself and kind of what I've wanted, but my vision statement in December of 2011 talked about helping millions around this world. I didn't know how I was going to be able to do that, and amazingly, Nikken was barely into my life, and I did not see the big picture. And I know that I will help millions around the world, and I just have to give a shout out to my friend April in Australia, because we will be doing quite a bit with Nikken and animals, which I'm very excited about. So not just people, but animals benefit from Nikken, and I'm excited. April's going to be one of my new silvers, and I just want to say that whether you want the financial freedom, whether you want to improve yourself, the bottom line is you cannot do any of that without helping people and animals in a real way.
I'd say find your dreams, find other people's dreams, believe every single one of them will come true, then make it so.
Well, I want to give a big thank you to all of you. Decide to go silver and beyond. Make your dreams come true today. Take the first step to an awesome future. Thank you to my panel. My guests tonight were Deena Gray-Henry, David Martin, Linda Layton, and Estrellita Gonzalez. My name is Igor Gruendl, and please join us next time on the Royal Alliance Live Hangout. I wish you all a good night and good health.